The parotid gland secretes your salivary amylase, which breaks down complex carbohydrates. It's going to be the only thing in the genus. Yep. The only thing in the
Yeah, I know, but I gotta refresh it.
Okay.
I do too. I do too.
Next one.
The esophagus.
Esophagus, so posterior to the trachea. Okay. Tissue function.
Oh, the lower cardiac esophageal sphincter muscle.
Yeah, so the lower, no, the esophagus is the non-keratinized stratified. Okay, so the esophageal sphincter muscle connects the esophagus to the stomach. Okay, so way up there. Double check with Larry if there's a particular place he's going to pin it.
It connects the esophagus to the stomach.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yep. So lower esophageal sphincter muscle or cardiac sphincter muscle. Okay. Then you have your stomach. Pink pouch right there, big pouch.
Why is that tissue looking almost metallic-y?
This?
No, farther back where the lower esophageal
You can't see
sphincter
it.
muscle is. It's really cool. Looks like a fish.
And then leaving the stomach, okay, you have the pyloric sphincter muscle or the pylorus, and that's going to be connecting the stomach to the first part of the small intestine, the duodenum.
What is the greater omentum, lesser omentum of the stomach?
That's not here.
That's
It's like a fatty, layery substance that they've removed. I don't know.
So it's a layer on the outside of it, not to do with like a part of it?
Yeah, and the other, I mean, maybe Larry would have taken it off from the updated one, but he doesn't have one.
It sounds familiar.
So what would we have to know about that?
Double check with Larry, because again, you can't pin it, so I've never seen, I mean, he could ask an application question about it. I don't believe he talks about it all that much.
Okay.
But yeah, you can double check with him.
The pyloric sphincter muscle?
For this lower esophageal sphincter muscle, what does that connect again?
The esophagus and the stomach.
And the stomach, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So your sphincter muscles, right, they're the one-way valve, so it's preventing, or ideally it prevents stuff from going up, right? It wants to keep everything in the stomach, but when it doesn't work, you get the acid reflux and the heartburn.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know hiatal hernias. So.
Pyloric sphincter muscle.
Pyloric sphincter muscle. So again, I said that. So that's from the stomach to the first part of the small intestine, the duodenum.
Small intestine.
Okay. So your small intestines, right? They have 3 parts. First part's the duodenum. Is this guy untangled? He's like all tangled. I don't want to squirt anybody. I'm just going to leave him so I don't squirt anybody. But so the first part of the small intestine, the duodenum. Okay.
What's the duodenum?
The first part of the small intestine.
It's not like a...
It's the first portion of the small intestine.
Okay, there's not like a defining beginning end because...
And then you have the last part of the small intestine, which is the ileum. Okay, so can they pin the ileum? Sure, because you can see the cecum. You know that this is the last part. Can they pin the duodenum? Sure, because you see that this is the first part. Are they going to pin the jejunum?
Could you get a question like name of...
Absolutely. You need to know the order for sure. They can ask in a practical. It'll come up in the exam when you have to put an order for the digestive system, but they're not going to pin the ileum because it's not like the first 6 3/4 inches of the small intestine is this. Okay?
Where's the mesentery?
Mesentery is all of this stuff feeding the small intestine. This is covered with fat. If you look at other pictures, you'll see it's highly vascular. You can hear it's pretty good.
So it's like the web in the middle?
Mm-hmm. All of this stuff is the mesentery.
And what's the jejunum?
The jejunum is the middle part of the small intestine. Okay?
You said it's not going to be pinned?
No. You need to know it, but that you can't pin it because it's not, distinctive, or we're not responsible for knowing distinctive regions. But you can tell what's the beginning and you can tell what's the end. Okay?
The ileocecal valve.
Yep, so the ileocecal valve, what we drew up there, connecting the ileum to the cecum. So that pouch is the cecum. Okay? And there's the appendix.
That's nuts.
Connect ileum to the cecum.
Yep. So it's another sphincter muscle. So again, one-way direction. ideally, so that you don't have stuff from your large intestine going back into the small intestine, because there's a whole other, bacterial population in here and a lot of stuff you don't want to be moving back around. So that's your ileocecal valve.
The colon or large intestine?
Yes. So your colon, like we said, ascending colon, traveling up. The hepatic flexure, so the curvature that's right by the liver. Transverse colon, traveling straight across.
Oh, the hepatic you said was like the turn by
Yes,
the liver.
the curvature.
Between the ascending and transverse.
So if he was going to pin that, he wouldn't like lay it out straight and say yes, right?
No, it's
Show
just
it.
going to be the point of curvature. Yeah. That would be putting it all the way up here.
The curve.
Yeah.
Name
They'll lay it out so that it looks as it anatomically should. Okay, so again, transverse colon traveling across, splenic flexure, curvature by the spleen, descending colon traveling down, and then that last portion, the S-shaped, is the sigmoid colon.
The liver?
Liver. Okay, so all of those things, like I said before, the hepatic ducts, the cystic duct, the gallbladder, you can't see any of that on the cadaver, but can he ask you about it? For sure. No, that's how things, you can't, they're ducts, so traveling from the liver into the duodenum. Like the pancreatic ducts, you don't actually see them on him.
The gallbladder?
Gallbladder, again, you don't see that on him.
Pancreas?
Pancreas?
That little video you posted was funny, by the way.
I wake up with that in my head like at least once a week.
That's not weird.
It's so funny.
I like the video, but, you know.
About once.
No, when I was home, I heard it with one of my friends in a car, and we listened to it on YouTube like 38 times in a row. I still play it every now and then for fun. So pancreas back here. Okay.
The spleen?
Wait.
That whole thing's your stomach.
Pokes out from behind the stomach. Okay. Spleen is this big guy over here.
See him?
The left-right kidney?
So kidneys, everybody knows those from doing the vasculature. Left kidney, right kidney. Okay, leaving the kidneys, traveling down, you have your ureters. So that would be the right ureter. And then the left ureter. Okay. And then urinary bladder would just be down there, pinned down there. Okay. And that's it, right? So for all of that ureter, name this tissue and function, right? So the anatomy is not the anatomy is really straightforward and basic, and 90% of it already. And it's 90%, 95% of it is just going to be tissue and function or enzymes. Okay, so once you know the histology piece of it and you know the enzymes, you're like 95% prepared. And then there's a couple other little things that we'll go over as we go along, but that's it.
Awesome, Jordan.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Sorry.
And you can stay if you want to look and